Hey everyone, it's Ian Thomas, Superior Ag Insurance, and coming to you here midway through 2022. And man, things sure can change. We started this year off as good as we probably ever have. We were optimistic. Prices were up. We had an excellent crop coming out of the ground. We got it in timely. But now we're halfway through the growing year, and things really have changed around on us. We've got some hot, dry weather that's been here for a long time. Prices are declining. And now we're going to have to try to figure out how we're going to play this hand that we're dealt. We're having to deal with how to play the fives. We've got corn that's barely 5 foot tall. We've got December corn now that's $5 and change a bushel. And what do we do from now? Do we just give up? Do we fold? Where do we go from here? So we wanted to make a quick video today, kind of go over some ideas, some strategies, things to be looking for on your crop insurance. Try to provide some thoughts and insights for everyone out there. First and foremost, you all need to do your due diligence. This video is only for educational purposes. We're going to run over a lot of different topics today, and some will go in depth and some we won't. So if you got questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us here at Superior Ag Insurance, and certainly talk to whoever you're dealing your crop insurance with, that agent, and reach out there. So, getting back to how we're going to deal with this hand that we're dealt. It stinks that we're here. We took some videos of our own crops, and it's really kind of embarrassing in a way, but we're all in the same boat. Many of us throughout the tri-state area are having to deal with the same thing. So, dealing with where are we going from here? Number one, we got to make sure we do the best job we can getting our reporting done correctly, timely, and accurately. All of our insurance guarantees are based on our acreage report. So some of the things we want to look for there, we want to make sure that we've got our acres correctly per farm. We don't want to have a 100-acre farm and only report 50 of it. It's hard to go back and add those acres at a later time. So we need to make sure that when you're filling out your forms, or your agent's filling out your forms, you're working with the folks at FSA, that we get all the acres that are there and get them in correctly. And we want to make sure that we get plant dates in. A lot of times some crops can get later planted, especially soybeans, double crop beans. Once you're in the late planting period, you might start losing some guarantee each day. So, it's very important to make sure we get an accurate plant date so we can get the most guarantee that we can. And then from time to time, you'll see errors that are made by FSA or the agents. A 5 can easily become a 6 on keying it in a system, and that can drastically change your coverage. So we really want to pay attention to just being accurate with that, because it can really affect the bottom line. The next thing we probably want to look at is, are we adding any acres to the farm? Many of us, myself included, were super optimistic going into this year. We're hungry for ground. We want to expand our operation and keep moving forward. Well, there's a lot of things that go into this, how we set our insurance guarantees. Are we taking county T yield? Are we getting our simple average T yield? A lot of that goes into how you report it to your agent and what they put on the paperwork, and that can change your guarantee and your coverage. Just snap your fingers quick, all by what's put on that paper. So it's very important to look at that aspect. And then also, if you've got ground that you're no longer farming, it's not a part of your operation anymore, your agent needs to know these things, because they all take into effect on your insurance guarantee and your APH. And then a lot of things, especially in our area, we're looking at some new breaking ground this year. We've got sod ground that might have been in hay or pasture for a number of years, and crop prices were up. And so now, guys have been out there spraying it down, planting in some crops. And you don't think about it from an insurance perspective, but that can penalize you depending on how much acreage and the crop rotation that was on it. You may want to take it uninsurable. You may take a percentage of the T yield. So those are all things that really need to be considered, especially in a year when crops are not looking well and there's a pretty high likelihood we could see some claims out here. I guess the final thing I'll say on just being accurate at our acreage reporting is just trying to stress, timing. We've got a short window to make a lot of paperwork happen here, and many farmers, myself included, when I put the farming hat on, don't always quite, like doing paperwork and sitting in the office and making that happen, especially after we've come off a busy season. But if we miss some of these deadlines here, you can face penalties, fees at FSA per farm, around $46 a farm, I believe it is. That gets pretty pricey. Also, if we're missing acreage off our acreage report, don't get it turned in timely, keyed timely, we may not even be able to insure those, depending on the situation. So it's very important that you focus on that. So once we get through kind of the accuracy part of it, our reporting part of it, where are we going from here? We've got this crop in the field. It's 5 feet tall at best, something we haven't dealt with in a long time. Many of us have been used to harvesting a good crop, paying our insurance premium and going on. And now, we're looking at something similar to 2012. So we're going to speak kind of just on a corn basis at the moment. That seems to be what's hurting the most. Beans, we've got a little more time there, but we may be looking at a situation with that in the coming weeks. So we're going to focus this kind of example and talk on corn. So what are we going to do with this crop? We've given up. Where are we going? We've got a couple options. First and foremost, what we need to do for our crop insurance is make sure that we're filing, timely notice of losses. Now, it's very important to document any damage that you see out in the field to your insurance agent and to let them turn in a notice of loss to the AIP. Per your basic provisions, you're supposed to turn it in within noticing damage within 72 hours. So, if we're out here and we're seeing corn twisted up for 3 weeks on end and it's 3 feet tall and purple looking and dying, that's something we need to be turning into to our agent and letting them know we've got damage and things existing. So first and foremost, we need to get that notice of loss in. And then once we do that, we've been contacted by an adjuster. What are our options now? We can go ahead and harvest this crop, get it shelled. Maybe we were wanting to chop it for silage. We've got some cattle around, or we've got neighbors that have cattle. Maybe it's so bad that we just need to destroy it in the field and never pick anything off of it. So, probably the easiest way, number one, looking at this is if we got something that's just off, would be to shell it. We'll get that production account. We'll take it to the elevator, take it to the bins, whatever we need to do, but run the combine through it, keep our field harvest records, and get that done. If we're talking about chopping a lot of silage, that's going to be upon us pretty soon. We need to be thinking about, getting that appraisal done. Because once it's chopped and it's gone, it's pretty hard to figure out what the production was on that ground. So if you didn't leave acceptable field strips out there for an adjuster to take samples from, or they didn't check it before it was chopped, we're going to be in a really, really bad situation there. And then too, if you just decide that it's so bad you need to destroy it, without proper consent from the AIP and an appraisal, you're going to run into a lot of trouble with claims if you just go out here and disc a field under, bush hog it, etc. So, we want to make sure that you're keeping the records that you need to be keeping. You've got your notice of losses turned in, you're talking with your adjuster, talking with your agent to figure out, what's best for your operation, what makes the most sense, and just let's do the best we can with the cards we've been dealt. And something else to be considering, especially if you're a larger farmer, this year we're probably going to see a lot of high dollar claim reviews, quite a few areas. So a high dollar claim is anything over $200,000 per crop per county. And with the increased commodity prices and our spring corn and bean prices, it's not going to take very many bushels lost to make that happen. So we're going to see some APH reviews there. So it'll be very important, hopefully you all had your production reported correctly and timely with your agent previously back in the spring, and then you've got all the acceptable records to back that up. But I would definitely be in talks with your agent and thinking about, am I going to go over the $200,000 threshold, and what type of records do I need to be able to provide the insurance company to get through that claim review and get it done quickly. That way you're also able to have your claim paid quickly. So those are just some things we will really want to keep in mind as we're finishing out this crop year and trying to make the best out of a bad hand. What do we do for the next year? Farmers are eternal optimists. And we're always thinking ahead. You know, we're writing this crop off and thinking, what can we do for 2023? You know, there's a lot of things, new products out there, new private products. Heard a lot of folks talking about wheat, changing coverage. How does this affect my APH going in to next year? If we have a big claim year this year, you know, my guarantees for next year's corn crop or bean crop. So there's going to be a lot of talk out there once we finish up this crop year and how we plan for the next. So, you know, this is something we want to have a discussion with you all about. We want to help develop a strategy with you about to manage your risk and keep your operations growing and making as much profit as you perfectly can and managing as much risk as you can. So if there's anything that we can do to answer questions, to strategize with you, to look at different options and products, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at Superior Ag Insurance. Check us out on our website, on YouTube, Facebook. Anything we can do at all to help, we'd be glad to do it. And please always remember to do your due diligence, research this, and remember this video is for educational purposes only. Thank you.